that.
Yeah.
Yeah, meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, but I'm going to speak now.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
So I'll just allow the participants admit all to the.
Martha ma'am has not tested her mic.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Martha, ma'am, you can take over.
Yes. So, shall I begin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, all. We, the Department of English, SSN College of Engineering, welcome you all to the second session of the SSN School Teachers Workshop 2021. We are happy that you could join us for this session. I now invite Professor Thiruvenkata Swami, the head of the Department of English, to introduce the resource person for this session.
Thank you, Martha. So good morning to all the participants who have come for this workshop, and particularly to the speaker of the session, Mr. Syke Kumaran. Nobody can be more apt than Syke to talk on this topic, journey of a non-native English teacher. Journey of a non-native English teacher. He's going to talk about how a non-native English teacher can become one of the most sought after educators in the world. I'm sure all the participants will agree with me when I say, amongst all the English teachers in the world at large, English teachers at India, they definitely enjoy a very special privilege. Number one, they teach the maximum number of learners. I don't think any other country can boast of the number of learners of English language as we can in India. Secondly, I think previously we used to say Indian English is perhaps only second to native varieties of Englishes like England, the English spoken in England or the US. Now I think I can say with a lot of confidence, our English is perhaps, the English spoken by some of us at least, is perhaps as good or better or enjoys a status which a native variety of English enjoys anywhere else in the world. I'm sure Syke would agree with that we enjoy a status, we speak extremely well. And now that English is not the language of any one person, David Crystal talks about Englishes. There are several Englishes. If there are several Englishes, then definitely the Indian English has got a very special and a pride place in the map of English language teaching. And now the topic is, how can a non-native English teacher become one of the most sought after in the world? I think I would say, without any exaggeration, not to embarrass Syke, Syke himself is an example. See, from a tiny village in Kerala, teaching in a school, I can say without any doubt, there is no one ELT expert anywhere in the world who he doesn't know or who doesn't know him. And he is much sought after in conferences like IATEFL, TESOL, and several other conferences. He was also there in Malaysia when Madurai Kamaraj University conducted a conference. And, I've been really impressed. I saw him for the first time in Brighton when I went for the IATEFL conference. And I could see the way he was managing the entire conference, so many important activities. And I really felt very happy to see. And he's also, I think, teaching. Syke, if I'm not wrong, you're teaching in one of the universities in California during your summer break sometimes or other, isn't it? Yeah. So he's a high school teacher and a visiting professor in the universities in California. So a non-native English teacher is sought after by all the English language experts and the people across the world, is there personified in the personality of Syke. And we are really very, very happy, Syke, to have you with us. And we look forward to a long-lasting relationship with SSN, and will involve you and take your help in all of our conferences, workshops, seminars, and also other aspects of academics. With these few words, I wish all the participants an excellent time with Syke, and let us scale ourselves up to the level of being recognized as an international English language teacher. Thank you.
Thank you. So I am very happy to be the part of this virtual learning huddle series by Sri Shiva Subramanya Nada College of Engineering, Chennai. And I thank my friends, Dr. Thiru, Dr. Cherry, and many others over there for this opportunity. And I am very happy that you all decided to have a program for teachers. So let me share my screen first. My PPT was closed. I don't know. It's coming. Okay. All right. Cherry, is that okay?
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
All right, thank you. So I think you'll be able to read this one. It's by Tisol, Spain. They stand in opposition to discrimination against teachers on the basis of their national, ethnic, or linguistic background, religion, gender identity, and sexual orientation in terms of hiring, promotion, recruitment for jobs, or employment conditions. So what a native speaker, what is the difference between a native speaker or native English teacher and a non-native English teacher? So as per Peter Medgis noticed or observed in his book, more than 70% of the teachers of English in the world are non-native English speaking teachers. And the remaining 30 or less are native speakers. And Sylvana Richardson once said, we, the non-native English speaking teachers, we teach the whole world English. And we decide what to teach. So I was really impressed by this. And I just decided to say all these things just because normally I get calls from many parts of India for native speaker, to get a native speaker online, or to get a native speaker for their school for a month's appointment or something like that. And sometimes I know as I deal with the guys over there in the US and I mean UK, I know what's up or what is their standard, as we say in India. But and I simply forward some of my friends' biodata and their contact details to schools in Delhi or somewhere else in India. And surprisingly, the call back to them will be always interesting because they offer 4 to 5 lakhs per month for only the skin. For only the skin. Indian schools or Indian institutions offer much more amount. So that is a pretty amazing thing. But I always like to say this in front of Indian people or Indian teachers and organizers, just because what is the use of that? What is native? Who is a good teacher? It's a question always. And me, with this Indian skin, with this Indian tongue, I could reach somewhere else in UK and the US. And remember, in London, in many parts of London, you can see the boards just like English tuition by Indian teachers. So that is a condition in the UK. Many times when I was checked in at hotels, the receptionists who were UK natives, many times they asked me to teach grammar. So that is a condition, and I am coming to the topic. What is my position? Am I a zero native speaker or a non-native English speaking teacher? So some teachers in India, they have a tendency to use English like the same as the native speaker. So we can call them as pseudo native speaker, but we don't need to do that. And I would like to be introduced as a non-native English speaking teacher. That's all. Now all the things are up to you. You decide what's good. And I am coming to the very topic that Cherry told me to share with, is my story. How did I reach there in the UK and the US? It's just because one important thing is I am a person who comes from a rural village in Kerala. And I studied in Malayalam medium schools. The marks for marks I got for English in the 10th grade is just 22 out of 50. I got, 90% marks in all other subjects, but English was such like that hard nut for me. Because at that time in Kerala, English was being taught by the teachers who didn't learn English at their graduation level. So after that, I just joined. After my higher secondary, I joined in a college and I took English. And later, I could complete my MA and BEd in English, and I could clear the UGC NET for lectureship years ago in 2003. So in the very first part of my career, I was working in colleges and universities in Kerala. Not university, in college affiliated to Calicut University in Kerala. And I worked, just like my early stage was 3 years, I worked in colleges. Then I came to school. I opted such kind of a thing just because my parents were school teachers and allowed teaching at secondary level. So I just came from a college to the school. So the main problem around or in the society was they opposed my decision. Sometimes they called me as an underachiever. Sometimes persons insulted me. They think in Kerala, the people think that college or university is the supreme thing, and school, higher secondary is the next one, and secondary is the next one, and the primary and the KG are the least one. And sometimes they don't regard the teachers of kindergarten or primary as not teachers. This is the situation here. I don't know about what about the other parts of India. Sometimes it is the same as here. And I joined in the school, and I worked for 5 years over there, and that was very nice. I could contact with many people. I was just in the school, and I was learning and giving talks and everything, arranging technology, the smart classroom, everything for my school. And suddenly, as I told you, the people blamed me for sitting in or working in a secondary level. And I told you, people sometimes they insulted me. So I was thinking to grow. As a high school teacher, I decided to grow. I desired to show the world how far I can go, how far a high school teacher can go. So I used internet. I Googled ELT conference, and the first result was LTI conference Chennai 2010. And the role of that teacher organization called LTI, I was there in Chennai, and it was a great experience for me because I met many people, ELT experts from Tamil Nadu and from other parts of India. Unfortunately, there were a small number of people from Kerala. So from there, I got in touch with a person called Stephen Herder. And that Stephen Herder, you can see, I just saved that name, and when I came back here, I just Googled Stephen Herder, and I knew that International Teacher Development Institute, he was one of the program directors over there, and Barbara Hoskins Sakamoto and Cherry. I could find all these guys over there. And the next thing, I don't know how to say it. One day, Stephen Herder called me, Syke, on Messenger. He called me, Syke, are you okay to speak at an international conference online? I said yes. Actually, I don't have that kind of courage to speak at a conference like that in 2011. But when Stephen Herder called, my reply was a sudden one, and as a result of that, I could speak in the conference, virtual roundtable conference, and I represented sometimes India, I think. And when opportunity knocks, my decision is just to receive. I don't think of the problems. I don't think about my failures, my problems. I don't think that, because I told you my decision was to grow, to show the people, the individuals in Kerala who behave such kind of a different way. So here in the next part, another thing happens. I was planning to visit UK, but I don't have money, as you know. And so I was planning to visit UK, and in the very next conference, in Chennai, I met George Pickering, you can see. And George was a speaker there, and he's a good guy. He's my friend right now. So after the conference, I walked slowly towards him and asked, "Sir," I asked "Sir," but he didn't like it. Sir is the most important word I mean address to any man. I thought that, but this sir was an insult to George. I don't know. I called him sir, but later I understood that in the UK, sir is being used by the police constables when they arrest someone. So sometimes George was thinking of that. Anyway, he didn't like me or the way I asked. I asked him, could you tell the ways of getting into or moving to attending an IATEFL conference? And George said, your name, please. So I said my name. Mr. Syke, it's not easy. You won't get a visa. You have to make a queue on the, in the embassy, or definitely I can say you will not get the visa. So that was the first negative thing I heard from George. Later we talked about this and laughed, but this was a kind of such, as you said, as we discussed earlier, I recorded these words in my mind, and when I reached here in Calicut, I just Googled again IATEFL conference, the way of getting UK passport, visa, something like that. But in the very next few months, within few months, I got the UK visa my own, without any affiliation, without any promise from IATEFL. I took the UK visa, and I called Dr. Ilango, and I called, sir, I got the UK visa to attend IATEFL. Later, I just took I remitted conference fees and etc. registration process. And Dr. Ilango he was thrilled to know that, Syke, that's a good thing. Could you do a favor for me? I said, what is? So he said, Syke, can you represent IATEFL, LTI at the associate day? So I think I said yes, as I said yes to Stephen Herder earlier. And the problem was I need to get in touch with so many things, and also I need to present over there before David Crystal, in the presence of David Crystal. So anyway, I could manage it. So before moving to that IATEFL conference, I did some activities here in Kerala. That is initiated the first Wi-Fi connected school campus. And me and Terry, we introduced virtual classrooms to government of Kerala, or the schools in Kerala. And also I did another thing as a team leader of a core Oxford project. And we hosted the first webinar series. That all the things were here, they serve as a background for me. And later, I decided to transform. From a teacher, high school teacher, how can you transform? A bit English, a bit of IT or ICT. I decided to combine all these things: English language and literature, and information and communication technology. And I decided to get in touch with people all over the world. I used Facebook for that. From Facebook, I searched the keyword ELT and find persons and send requests. In the very first phase, most of the people rejected me. And slowly, gradually, they were familiar. I mean, my name was familiar with them. And later, I could collaborate with teachers of more than 22 countries. We had a kind of exchange program, just like with an open camera, by using Skype. The class of my school or my class, the students spoke to another class in Greece, Pakistan, China, Japan, and many countries. So that was a kind of the thing I desired. And nobody was with me to help. It's all done. I was all in for every new ventures. And sometimes self-made, I don't know how to describe that. So meeting David Crystal in 2015, it's another thing that changed my life. Because as Dr. Thiru introduced, said in the very beginning, he talked about India. And he liked the sounds of ra, ra, ra that is being told by Malayalis or Tamils or any other. So he always said, ra, 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 I like the word ra, ra, ra. So see, always we interact with these kind of things, and every time he recognized me. This relation, this had begun in 2015. And in front of David Crystal, I represented LTI. I spoke about LTI, and it was a great experience for me. And I got a quote like that you can see Mr. Professor David Crystal wear. So so anyway, from that, in the next level, from over there, I learned there is a scholarship opportunity. So in the next year, I applied for the scholarship. And I was actually the first person from Kerala to get an IATEFL scholarship. One person from Trivandrum called me, you are the first from Kerala. Anyway, it was a great package. Earlier, Dr. Ilango had, he received the same scholarship, but the amount was very low. But this time, it was a great, huge amount of money. So I could go there, and it was a different thing. It changed my life, actually. The teaching associations from all over the world came. They invited me for talks, and that was a great thing. And in the last part of this, I can tell about the scholarship and other details of IATEFL. And this is Stratford-upon-Avon. We all love Shakespeare, and I could visit his place, his home, his graveyard, the same village, Stratford. So I could visit all these kinds of institutions that I love to visit during this program. From in 2015, 2016, and in the remaining years. The next important thing was the meeting with Michael Swan. I didn't know that he was alive, actually. When Mr. Professor David Crystal talked about Michael Swan, I was wondering, and suddenly I just moved to him and I just introduced to him, and he is learning grammar. It's a great thing. Still he loves Indians because 40% of his books are being sold here. He loved India. So as a conference reporter, I became the official conference reporter for the next conferences in IATEFL. At the same time, I was taking pictures for IATEFL magazines as a photographer. So I did many things, writing reports to IATEFL, taking pictures, something like that. So I did this in 2017, 2018, and 2019. And in 2019, I became a committee member of IATEFL. There was a call for committee members, and actually in the executive committee, there was nobody from India. So I didn't know that it's a history, but I applied and I got it. I became the part of the digital committee of IATEFL. And it was a very laborious thing, I can say, because we need to prepare the blog, we need to conduct the online conferences. Sometimes we need to work as a panelist, and also we need to edit the IATEFL blogs and so many things. And representing India, I think from Asia, I think I am the first one to get in, to reach in the same committee. Anyway, as a committee member, I could get in touch with many people around the world, and it's a kind of really, and many of my works published over there, and many I could take photographs for many Oxford publications, and my names were there in many parts. And with these kinds of experiences in 2017, I could reach US. So in the US, you can see the title, a non-native English-speaking teacher. He became a native English-speaking teacher. I don't know. That is US. I had an opportunity. This is a Californian classroom. This is Pomona High School, California. It's 12th graders. So they are 12th graders, and it was my class. So in the very first week, I didn't know how to use English. I had mustache. At that time, I had mustache, and the people think it's address me like an Indian, or sometimes from a person from Nicaragua, something like that. But later, I could understand that what is an accent. By taking 1 week, I could behave as the same as an American teacher does in the classroom. I could understand the students' questions. They ask questions all the time. So I could understand their questions, their slangs and everything. It took only 1 week. So from my experience, what I have to say is, dear teachers, if you listen to me, dear teachers, just by taking one week, you can get any accent in the world. There are Englishes, and American English is another way, and the UK is another way. And as I said earlier, remember, the world needs Indian teachers to teach. So in the US, my experience is, when you try to teach them, I taught them English. The paper in my hand, that is a poetry. I teach them how to recite the poem. Remember, it's a very different thing. I didn't imagine that I can do something like that. So this is not difficult. This is pure. It's an easy thing. What you need to say all in to any opportunity that comes to you. All right. And I think we have some more time to share. All right. And another important thing is European Union. I could visit many of the countries in the Europe as the part of sometimes during my official visit. or sometimes unofficial. So I normally take a train to Calais in France. And when you come by bus, the problem is normally at the checkpost, the police people or the immigration officers, they ask for passports and everything. And the driver, the English driver, they need to speak French. English driver need to speak French, and he spoke broken French, and then they release the vehicle and the journey continues. So English dies at Calais, and during for the next part of the Europe, no English. And what their English is, what I can compare, it cannot be compared. In India, most of the people, they know English, but Europe it's a very different thing. They don't know English. We have opportunity, but I can say we have Indian English teachers have opportunities in England, so we don't need to go to the other European country. We have opportunities in England as grammar teachers. And one day I can share, one day when I was in England for the first time, one of my friends in England, his name is Panay Troyes Adamo. I call him Panny. So Panny, I interviewed him for a full day. I was scribbling something what he said. I asked so many things. I was checking their pronunciation with ed, worked, then jumped, like that. And I was checking all this pronunciation of a Londoner, and at last Pani said, Syke, Indian English is better than our English. Sometimes, people may vary from my opinion, but I talk from my experience. And you can ask if there is any other opinion, we can share, we can debate, no problem. And in many, I have a YouTube link, but I don't click it right now because sometimes it will break the slide. So in my I have another role in IATEFL, just like having as an interviewer. I interviewed many persons, and the main problem of me is the South Indian wobbling. So the first time Syke AK from Germany was the camera woman, and she was filming, and I was interviewing Sandy Millin, and I was shaking my head like this all the time. So I was unaware of this factor. And at the time of editing, what's this Syke? I said it's our culture. And actually, I was smiling at the time when I shook my head. So that is what we are. Then I think I can say something related to IATEFL right now. We have some more time to share. So I think I can share something related to IATEFL and opportunities for you, all the Indian teachers. So I work for IATEFL right now just as a member, and I am in the membership committee right now. So we have 4 organizations in India that affiliated, like LTI, including LTI, INET, and Fortel, something like that. So we have 4 affiliated institutions, and you can have membership by paying just 500 or 600. They have their slots with them. Normally we charge nearly 5,000 INR for a full member, but through these institutions, like organizations, TAs, you'll get opportunity to join IATEFL for just like 500 Indian rupees. And these are the benefit of a member. We can have discounted rate of IATEFL, I mean, in conferences and magazines and e-bulletin, and you can write in IATEFL Voices. It's a great one. So you can write in IATEFL Voices, and you can write in conference selections, and you will get a copy of that too. And also the monthly webinars. You know, for the monthly webinars, I am one of the 3 panelists who decide, who assess the proposals and select. But we do it blindly. We cannot see the name or country, but we do it. So you can apply. Many of the teachers from India, are in the panel. Just like we select, you can apply and we can select. So this is another membership opportunity to get to speak in IATEFL monthly webinars, and to be a participant too. And another is another virtual events, British Council sponsored programs, just like the World Teachers Day web conferences, something like that. And also the professional network. It's very easy to get. You know, I traveled as a non-native teacher. I traveled alone. I just sought all these things with my own efforts. But now simply you can take a membership and you can broaden your professional network. And so I think that's all for now. You can ask if there is anything to share or an additional thing you want or need. You can ask right now. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Syke, for that very insightful talk. We are now open for question and answers. So in case any of you have any questions, you can post that in the chat, or you could unmute and ask Mr. Syke, and he'll be willing to answer. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat, or you could unmute and then you could go ahead with your questions.
What I have is not a question, but a comment or a general feedback on what Mr. Syke was talking all the while. I know him for quite some time, more than a decade now. And the drive which he has, that is something very inspirational. And he mentioned that in his presentation, that he wanted to grow. I believe, that fire inside you is something which every teacher could think of emulating. And you can see, how his drive took him to all places in the world and connected with people all over around, and then brought him a lot of recognition and probably experience, knowledge, everything as a package. So that is truly inspirational. And I believe, when he started, I still remember the calls which he made. There's no funding, but I'm still going ahead with whatever money I have. I'm not going to tell my family. He has a wife, children, everything. I'm just going ahead. I'm not telling that, I'm not getting, I'm going to tell them that I'm getting a scholarship, but it's not like that. I'm using my money, but I think it'll open up opportunities, and it did. I think if the COVID hasn't come, he might be attending his 5th IATEFL in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also many more things. Like I mean, from UK to US and other parts of the world. Like I mean, yeah. So he's a true example of what the power of internet can do, right? Like I mean, how teachers can connect with other teachers all around the world, and then how they can make the most of those connections. Like I mean, and yeah, thank you, I mean, for accepting our invitation and being here and sharing your thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you, Cherry.
Thank you, Syke.
All right.
Yeah,
So
we will meet sometime.
yeah, sure. Sure. When Cherry said I didn't know that you were the department head of Cherry's
Okay.
college. So when Cherry said it, I was
I talk
wondering.
quite often about you to Cherry after I came back from Brighton. I didn't mention your name to everyone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is
So,
there anything to share?
nothing. We are very happy that you are with us, and
All right.
we are a bit busy. I'm a bit busy organizing.
Yeah.
First year students are coming in person from Monday onwards. Day
All
after
right.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Do
So-
you remember one thing, that when you and some other from Tamil Nadu and you met me and said, Sai, please speak Tamil or Malayalam.
that is actually me and that professor from VIT. What was his name?
So I think we spoke Tamil. I was very, weak in Tamil.
I know.
I think I have a question. Like, can I
Sorry.
ask?
Yes,
Sure.
Yeah. The thing is, like, we have got several teacher organizations in India. Like, some of them have got legacy. Like, years of being in the field.
Okay.
But still, like, there is not much of an impact. When I listen to your story, I can clearly see that it's all because of your own drive, and that you're able to kind of move forward. What do you think? What ails the teacher organizations in India?
The problem is we form, it's not the criticism towards LTI, but the TAs in the world, they suffer a problem that the people form organizations just for their biodata. So they take some 20 to 50 members, and they act as a president or secretary or something like that, and that's all. They do nothing. So it's a very difficult job to get blog post these days, because as I am the curator of IATEFL blog, it's very difficult. People don't write in the world, not this is the case of India. So I don't know what's happening to teachers actually. So they are not willing to work. The main thing is that. And also sometimes the English, so sometimes the English, written form of English, even when I edit an article from the UK, even an Oxford University teacher can write or cannot write good English. It's also another problem. The grammar, the structure, everything. So what is good English? It's still a question. So it's just like a boosting for Indian teachers, because the way we deal with English is okay, but their methods are different and they have their own faults. I think, is that okay, Cherry?
Yeah, yeah. That's what, like, there are, like, is it because, like, we don't think about the common good? Like, when you get into a position of power, right? You have the power to help others actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, and what you have done now, like I mean, you are sharing the experience and you are encouraging teachers. Come, I mean, see, I can do it, which means you can also do it, right? Like I mean,
The
it's
main
just
problem I face in UK and in other European countries is when they see me, they simply identify me as a person from India, not a native of the Indians. I say the Indian or the Malayalis or people from Tamil Nadu or anywhere. Our people, Indians, try to get away from us. They don't mind me. When I say, when in London, when I meet an Indian, they don't mind me. That is, I mean, it's a thing that the skin matters over there. Sometimes money. So the same thing is happening in the case of teaching associations too. They need to think about teachers, their problems. You know, nowadays I have a study report with me that more than 60% of English teachers in the world are not salaried during this period of pandemic. It's a very touching story. So the situations over in many countries, but in India we are lucky people to get salaried during this pandemic. Okay.
Teresa, can I end? Teresa?
Sir,
yeah.
sir, yeah, that was an excellent presentation, sir. My name is Anita. I'm currently working in a school in Ernakulam right now. I just had a query, right? See, you
Okay.
just spoke about the way, yeah, it was incredible. Your journey is incredible, right? But see, the teachers whom I know, most of them don't know good English, actually. They teach English as the way they had been taught in their schools or in their colleges. But when it comes to students, as you said, it's very, the 14 years that they spend in school learning English. And
Okay.
I'm concerned because even though after 14 years, they are not able to speak in English as fluently or as good as possible. And then when there is a necessity for them to get a job for an interview or when they want to go abroad, that is when they actually learn. So within 3 months, they are learning English, which they actually learn for 14 years. So what are some of the measures you think that,
Yeah.
actually English teachers in schools can think about?
All right. Thank you, Anita. The problem is we
Yeah.
teach English, we learn English alphabet first. The main problem lies here. In the UK, they teach the
Okay.
sounds. They teach the sounds like that. They teach the sound, the 44 sounds in English. But in Kerala, I can simply say, before learning Malayalam alphabet, the people, the parents teach the students, their sons and daughters, they teach English alphabet first. There lies the main problem, because there is the confusion between words and the sound, or the sound and the letter, something like that. And later,
Yes.
what I do in my school is, from once in a week, I give my students the opportunity to speak with a foreigner, sometimes from Nepal or sometimes from Russia or something like that. So I give them opportunities to interact with a foreigner. So such kind of using English all the time, I think that is the problem. And I could solve this problem, as you said, because the students of my class can simply interact. It's a government school. They can simply interact with people from anywhere in the world.
There is no uniformity, sir, actually. Between English teachers themselves, there's no uniformity in the pronunciation and no clarity about grammar. So that is a major concern for me also. Like sometimes, you'd be like, oh, okay, okay, what are they actually talking about? You get the doubt. Okay, anyway, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Syke. And I request Dr. Cherry to please post the feedback link, and the participants can make use of that link in order to receive your certificates for this session. And may I now invite Dr. Deepesh Chandrasekharan to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Martha ma'am. On behalf of the English department, I very sincerely thank Mr. Syke Kumaran for his very inspiring talk, because the journey of a teacher who he would consider an ordinary teacher to involve in such deep professional development activity, it's amazing. It's very inspiring. And like Dr. Cherry just pointed out, I think one of the things we need to do as a community, as a teaching community, is that we need to have each other's backs. We need to stop thinking of competition, think of more in terms of cooperation and so on. Thank you very much for many takeaways for all of us. I also thank all the participants for participating in the session. Brilliant interaction in many ways. I also thank all the people who are involved in organizing this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Syke.
So the session has ended for the time being, and the afternoon, the last session. Martha ma'am, would you like to continue and make the announcement?
No, Cherry sir, can you tell the time, sir?
The next session begins in 1 hour from now at 1:30. It's by Mr. Sojo Varghese, and it's about learning habits. The meeting room will open at 1:30. So you can join us. If you haven't received, if you haven't registered, just send a message in the chat box or just email us. We will get back to you. So request all the participants to be back. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
So you can leave with the participants.